The Walgreens on Taylor Road in Port Orange. Police say they were called there right around 5:30 for a report of an active shooter. They found the suspect in the parking lot first. They then went inside. That's where they found the two workers hurt.
Two Walgreens employees were found to have gunshot wounds inside the store, and they were transported immediately to area hospitals for treatment. By the grace of God, we had a lot of officers in the area, and they were able to respond quickly.
Police say the suspect later died from his injuries, but aren't saying anything yet about the conditions of the two victims or a possible motive. Walgreens did release a statement overnight saying their hearts were with the victims and that they are fully cooperating with the investigation.
Some breaking news from the Vatican right now, where once again there has been a vote and no decision yet on a new pope. We have some video coming in from about an hour ago where black smoke, not white smoke, was coming from the Sistine Chapel. That means no pope was elected on the second or third ballots during the conclave to elect a new leader of the Catholic Church. CBS's Tina Kraus explains what happens next.
The search for a new pontiff resumes today, with 133 cardinals back inside the Sistine Chapel casting secret votes. This morning, black smoke again billowed from the Sistine Chapel chimney, signaling no new pope has been elected.
Do they have 20 votes, 10 votes?
Columnist Michael Sean Winters predicts a new pope could be chosen by tomorrow, with multiple rounds of votes happening today.
There's 2 ballots in the morning and 2 in the afternoon. I think things usually shake out on that third ballot. Then you really have a sense of who are the contenders, who has the momentum.
In the field of candidates, experts have pointed out 3 prospective frontrunners: Cardinals Pietro Parolin of Italy, Luis Antonio Tagle of the Philippines, and Pier Battista Pizzaballa of Jerusalem. In addition to the growing anticipation here in St. Peter's Square, the drama of the centuries-old papal conclave is spilling into the digital world, with contenders drawing millions of dollars in online gambling wagers.
People like to place bets, and so an industry will feed that desire. Doesn't mean that the bookmakers who are putting out these odds necessarily have any greater insight than you and I.
For now, the eyes of the faithful and those around the world stay fixed on the Sistine Chapel until that white smoke appears, marking the election of a new pope. Tina Kraus, CBS News, the Vatican.
And keep it right here. As soon as a successor for Pope Francis is announced, we will let you know. You can also find the latest throughout the day on our website, clickorlando.com.
We now know the name of the woman who was killed after an alligator attack at a local state park. 61-year-old Cynthia Dykema died Tuesday while she was canoeing with her husband in a creek off Lake Kissimmee. Wildlife workers believe the canoe went over an alligator in about 2.5 feet of water. That's when they say the gator got spooked and flipped the canoe.
She ended up on top of the alligator in the water and was bitten. Her husband attempted to intervene, but was unsuccessful.
We are told trappers are still in the area where that attack happened, hoping to get the gator responsible.
The man who killed a Volusia County couple on their way home from Bike Week will spend the rest of his life behind bars. Gene McKean pled no contest yesterday to the murders of Terry and Brenda Altman back in 2022. The two were killed while riding their bicycles home. Before accepting that plea deal, the state was seeking the death penalty. That was taken off the table, though. McKean's lawyer released a statement last night saying the crime has no explanation because it was committed by a mentally ill man.
Some breaking news from President Trump as he confirms a big new trade deal has been reached with the United Kingdom. In a post on Truth Social in just the last hour, Trump calls the deal, quote, fair and comprehensive, and one that will cement the relationships between the two countries for years to come. Of course, this all comes after Trump put new tariffs on countries around the world, saying the U.S. hasn't been treated fairly. Today's announcement is set for 10 o'clock from the Oval Office.
New this morning, for the second time, police in Palm Bay have turned off the cameras set up to catch school zone speeders. In a statement last night, police said they've experienced, quote, several issues which have caused concern and do not meet the standards we expect, end quote. They didn't offer any other specifics, but we do know back in February, the program was put on pause after some kind of glitch caused people to get tickets when they shouldn't have. As for this new suspension, police say they're working with the company that runs the system to resolve the issues.
Turning now to your forecast, of course, we've been dealing with some rain and potentially rain today for those areas. So especially watching out for those kids when you're driving out there. It could be some, standing water on the roadways or some slippery areas. So Keep an eye out for those kiddos.
It's just going to be one of those days where you have to start thinking more summertime pattern, right? So as we are going to continue to move throughout the next few days, even into like Monday and Tuesday, we're going to continue to keep those rain chances pretty elevated. Off and on, though, the severe weather risk will continue to increase. That is going to be the case today. We have more of a threat for the severe weather this afternoon as well as Friday. Temperatures right now, nothing severe, nothing to be too concerned about weather-wise, at least for the next few hours. It certainly is muggy and warm out there. We're at 71 in Daytona Beach. There in the City Beautiful, we're holding at 72 degrees. This camera here brought to you by Light Orlando, delivering hope together. As we look at our highs, though, this afternoon, we're going to be running above average across the board. Upper 80s along the coast, low 90s further inland. If you're able to maybe play hooky this afternoon, maybe enjoying some of the theme parks today, temperatures will be back into the low 90s. Just make sure you kind of schedule out your day a little bit, because we are going to want to make sure we have some of the outdoor activities checked off your list before we head into the afternoon, because that is when we are watching for the chance for some rain and storms. Now, some of the rain and storms could be packing quite a punch this afternoon. We're looking at the main issues, obviously lightning and that heavy rain, but wind can still also be playing a big role. We had some pretty strong wind gusts yesterday, still below that severe weather threshold, but we could get close to that this afternoon with another round of severe weather warnings in place for this afternoon. We'll have more details on our latest model runs and a look at even into the Mother's Day weekend forecast coming up in just a bit. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your News 6 traffic update.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, we are starting to get a little busier out here this morning. Down in Kissimmee, so Pleasant Hill at Reeves Road. There is a crash currently there with roadblock, but the weird part is I'm not picking up any roadblock slowdowns there. I'm picking it up further north. So just be cautious there, because just south there, right around the curve of the roadway, Cypress Parkway, Poinciana, and Pleasant Hill, that whole little area, seeing that backup as you're trying to leave here. This is going to be I-95 out at State Road 44, the 223 mile marker. Please be cautious. Excuse me, State Road 40. Outside of Mims here, there is a crash, but as you saw there on DOT camera, they've got it off to the side. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Steve. 7:12. It's a new way for crooks to steal your personal information, and it can happen in a matter of seconds.
Coming up, the growing trend of eSIM swapping and what you can do to protect yourself. Plus,
it happened so fast that I didn't really have time to get scared when it happened.
A bartender badly injured in a shooting, sharing her side of the story, what she says happened when she tried to break up a fight that ended in gunfire.
a DeLand bartender hurt after getting caught up in a shooting at a local bar. Now she's sharing her story just hours after being released from the hospital.
It was the most terrifying thing I've ever been through.
Courtney Rickman was shot over the weekend while trying to break up a fight at McCabe's bar in DeLand. Police say the gunman fired 7 shots, 6 of them hitting 32-year-old Keyshawn Harris and killing him. The other bullet went through one of Rickman's hands.
It happened so fast that I didn't really have time to get scared when it happened, but it keeps coming back. It replays in your mind over and over.
Police arrested 24-year-old Avante Williams for the shooting. The former DeLand High School football star is now facing a charge of second-degree murder.
For the first time, we're getting a look at the damage that led to the evacuation of a Clearwater condo building over fears that the building could collapse. These are some pictures released by the city's fire department. It shows a large crack over a foot long on a pillar in the parking garage. As a precaution, about 60 residents were evacuated Tuesday after that crack was spotted by a construction crew. Engineers have been brought in to help stabilize the building. However, the city says it could be days before that happens. Well, it's a high-tech way to steal your information. Crooks hijacking the SIM card in your cell phone to snag your banking information.
Yeah, it's called eSIM swapping. New this morning, investigator Louis Bolden explains how it happens and how to protect you and your family.
First of all, they're going to hijack your phone.
When Beverly Johnson recently tried to use her phone, she got a message saying emergency calls only.
This can happen to anybody.
When she logged into her account, she didn't see her Samsung Galaxy. Instead, there was an Apple iPhone. Her carrier told her she had been the victim of an eSIM card swap.
I mean, I kind of feel like someone has kind of taken over a portion of my life.
Embedded Subscriber Identity Module, or eSIM, is a digital SIM card built into your phone instead of a physical one. It carries an identification number unique to the owner, storing personal data and prevents the device from operating if it's removed. SIM swapping is when thieves change your cell phone SIM card via computer to go to a device in their possession.
It has been overwhelming.
Overwhelming because crooks have tapped into her device and into her financials. They hit her bank account with a $577 charge and another $1,000 charge. They charged $2,600 in gift cards. And just 2 days ago, 3 Western Union transactions, $500 a pop from her savings account.
Closing down the accounts, I did that. And I have been working on this since 4/4, and I am spending anywhere from 3 to 5 hours almost every day.
Do you feel violated?
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Talk to your cell phone provider about what protections they offer for SIM swapping. Ask about voice print analysis to verify it's actually you calling. Some carriers also offer a SIM freeze or 2-step authentication that goes to an app as opposed to a text to your phone. Remember, don't fall for the scheme, don't get ripped off, but if you do, email me at theinvestigators@WKMG.com. I'm Louis Bolden, News 6.
Always something. Well, Orlando International Airport has the traveler statue, but imagine walking off of your flight and seeing these 2 large sculptures inspired by the movies The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. Yeah, greeting visitors at a New Zealand airport for the past 12 years. Crazy. One features the wizard Gandalf atop that flying eagle. The other features Gollum with the trout. Mm-hmm. Is Gollum a good or bad guy? I don't know.
He's a good guy.
He's a good guy.
But, you know.
Things happen.
Yeah.
The statues are getting moved. They're getting put in storage as they redesign the terminal there. In case you didn't know, the Hobbit movie trilogy was filmed in New Zealand. So there's
50 years from now, some news anchor is going to be sitting here going, they found this in a garage sale.
Maybe one day. Maybe it's going to hit the auction block. Who knows?
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings is a big franchise.
And a lot of people actually travel to New Zealand on these Lord of the Rings.
Oh, yeah.
Guided tours.
Guided tours and stuff. They did the same thing for
Iceland
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. And it was huge.
Big
and all
for,
that stuff.
yeah, it's huge. That's
Where's
huge
the
for
ring,
tourism.
though? Lord of the Rings. Where's my precious?
Yeah, there you go.
Where's the big ring?
You should do that for Halloween. You did very good on
What are you
that.
trying to say?
Yeah.
About,
So good
do I
at
look like
that.
a golem to y'all?
Don't answer
that.
one answer that.
Don't you dare. Don't answer that.
Kelly, if you're watching, you know what to do.
No.
Kelly's already on it.
Kelly's our editor.
He's on it. Make it happen.
He
brother.
likes,
always watching.
He likes to snip some stuff when things are good on TV. All right. We got a weather alert day, though. All joking aside, we got to talk some severe weather possibilities today as we are watching the potential for numerous scattered strong to severe storms in the forecast. Really looking at the focus between about 4, but as late as about 9-10 o'clock tonight. Hail, damaging winds, gusty winds, heavy rain, frequent lightning, the combination of all of that. The good news is when it comes to tornadic risk, still on the low end. Can't completely rule it out, but again, it will be kind of the lowest threat alongside flooding. Now let's check on that hour-by-hour forecast for your Thursday. It's going to be another toasty day, almost steamy at some points. As highs, although we'll be in the low 90s, when you factor in all that humidity that currently is just kind of sitting over Central Florida, it's going to feel a little hotter. You know what I mean? Temperatures will also be hot, and then the rain comes in. So again, it's going to be feeling, looking, smelling, acting a whole lot like summer. Clouds and rain forecast still showing a couple of those scattered showers, again, bubbling up by about 2, 3 o'clock. Not a severe concern. The severity comes more when the east and west coast sea breeze comes together. And you can tell that on the modeling because it goes from scattered to really widespread. It kind of blows up in one spot, and that's exactly the case right along I-4, a little further to the west, a few miles west and east of I-4, and then everything continues to move gradually from west to east into the afternoon and evenings. Models still picking up a couple more of those rogue storms possible, even past sunset tonight. That's how active today could be. Looking at the severe weather risk, still looking at a level 1 out of 5. But again, the main concern is lightning and rain. Wind also could be a big concern. Tomorrow, we have a weather alert day pending as we are looking at the potential for another round of severe weather. The Storm Prediction Center already showing a level 1 out of 5 for your Friday forecast. But that's not it. There's more to come as we are watching now an area of low pressure that right now is across the middle part of the country will continue to slowly slide into the northern Gulf, and that's going to be bringing with it a big round of rain into the forecast. I'm going to show you here. This is clouds and rain kind of looking beyond Saturday. This is Sunday. Again, some scattered showers can't be ruled out for your Mother's Day, but it looks as of now like the worst of the weather, the heaviest of the rain, kind of the finale of this kind of rainy stretch will be coming in late Monday and into early Tuesday. With a big old swath of moisture. Because of that, between now and about Tuesday, we could rack up some significant rainfall. I'm showing you here the comparison between the GFS and the European model. No matter what model you look at, we're looking at a big dose of rain, which is exactly what we need. I just wish we could kind of rule out the chance for severe storms, but we can't. So again, today is a weather alert day. As of now, just making sure you have some indoor options for Mother's Day afternoon as storms will be threatening once again. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve.
Thank you, ma'am. Listen, if you're getting ready to leave Poinciana, just understand you're going to run into your routine delays. However, this crash out of here, they're calling Pleasant Hill and Reeves Road all clear. So please do yourself a favor. Do me a favor, do your community, increase your following distance. This is how most cause of crashes are caused. Mix that with you guys on your phone. Also out here, I-95, 223, we had a crash that was down here off of the main road, off the ramp. They have cleared that. Tow truck left. Police officer also cleared out of there. The rest of us checking out nice. Brevard County, good morning to you guys. Clear from Cape Canaveral down towards Cocoa Beach and even down towards Melbourne 192 and then 528 east and westbound from the airport into Brevard County out towards the coast. All clear. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Trooper Steve. 7:23 on your Thursday. A new push to get more troopers on Florida's roads.
At the bottom of the hour, with vacancies on the rise, what advocates are asking lawmakers to do.
The Federal Reserve has chosen to keep the interest rate the same despite a demand from President Trump.
Yeah, for a third straight meeting, the central bank opted to keep the rate at a 4.3%. The Fed cited solid hiring and easing inflation for taking that wait-and-see approach. In recent weeks, President Trump has called on Chairman Jerome Powell to lower the cost to borrow. Experts say leaving rates the same is good for savers, but adds pressure to borrowers. Still to come, 2 men convicted in the infamous Xbox murders could soon be heading back to death row.
Coming up, the recommendation made by a jury after a nearly 2-week trial.
And we continue to follow breaking news overnight in Orange County. A woman shot and killed after confronting deputies with a knife. We'll have a live update from the scene coming up next. You're watching News 6 Mornings on this Thursday. Stay with us.
Streaming on clickorlando.com and broadcasting live, you're watching News 6.
It is a beautiful live look right now. The calm before all the storms. Daytona Beach sky cam right now. Good morning. I'm Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos showing that temperature of 71. Elsewhere in Central Florida, we're at 72 in Orlando, 75 further south in Melbourne. But it's going to be a steamy day, feeling like the mid-90s when you factor in the humidity. Temperatures, though, still running well above average. Now, as we progress into the afternoon, scattered showers will start up about 2-3 o'clock, becoming more widespread. The threat for some strong to severe storms will linger until about 10 o'clock this evening. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve.
I-95 clear after an earlier crash out here at the 223. We're looking pretty good across Central Florida. In the green for most of Brevard County, the beach looking good, and 528 east and westbound. Earlier crash at Pleasant Hill and Reeves Road gone. Check this out. Yes, seeing is believing. I-4 Champions Gate checking out very nice. I'll even zoom in for you. Yes, no issues as you approach 429. The news continues next. Remember, get updates. clickorlando.com.
This portion of the news is sponsored by AK Certified Roofing. Streaming on clickorlando.com and broadcasting live, you're watching News 6.
It's 7:30. Let's get a check of our top stories. Breaking overnight, a woman is shot and killed by deputies in Orange County. It happened after they say she attacked them with a knife at an apartment complex not far from John Young Parkway and Oak Ridge Road.
Also breaking overnight, a small plane crash is under investigation in Ocala. It happened a couple miles from the airport, and we're told the pilot was rushed to the hospital and is expected to survive.
And the conclave just releasing black smoke, not white smoke, into the air at the Sistine Chapel, signaling a new pope has not been elected during the second and third ballot voting. Cardinals, though, will return for another round of voting this afternoon.
And turning now to the weather, some areas saw some downpours overnight. Today, another weather alert day.
It sure is. Let's get a check of that forecast with Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos. A warm start setting up for ripe atmosphere for those afternoon showers to fire up.
Yeah, so far this week we've had a couple of days where we had weather alert days. Yesterday, for instance, just because we have rain and storms doesn't mean it's going to be automatically a weather alert day. We trigger those kind of advisories, but we designate those days when we have that threshold that could be surpassing into the severe weather category. And unfortunately today we are going to get pretty close to that. So as right now we look at the radar, nothing severe, nothing to be concerned about for the next few hours. That will all change though as we head into the afternoon. So with that being said, if you have the opportunity to enjoy the outdoors and the heat doesn't bother you, maybe the beach will be a nice idea. It's going to be nice for the first half of the day. You saw that live look there in Port Canaveral. The surf will be light, but then the rain, that's going to be coming in from the west this afternoon. Right now, speaking of feeling like summer, right now we're in the 70s. And then into the afternoon, that's when our rain chances will start to trend upwards about 70% throughout the day. But we are also, again, designating it today a weather alert day due to the severity potential. We'll have more details on the timing, a look at our latest model runs, and a look at even wetter conditions possible by the time we head into the weekend into early next week. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your News 6 weather, traffic update.
I'll take the promotion. Because for me, going to the weather
You kind of do weather too. You know, weather
no,
impacts
I
your
do
job.
not.
You
Listen,
know. You talk fog and rain.
When they pull my name up, there's just like a handle with my social media. There's no like certifications like you guys have. Brevard County, you guys look good this morning. When it comes to your traffic, no issues along I-95, 528 as well. Checking out. Really good. We're really not seeing the major problems. We saw something pop off here off of Pleasant Hill Road at Reeves Road just a moment ago, just north of Point Siena. They cleared this out. What do we have now? Just north of there, starting right around Granada, we'll see those northbound delays. And then we don't see anymore those eastbound delays. We did that earlier in the week out on Patrol. Champions Gate I-4 from 27 through Champions Gate along I-4 through 429. You're good to go. You'll only see that slow down for now about Osceola Parkway. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Steve. Back now to that breaking news overnight. A woman killed after Orange County deputies say she attacked them with a knife. It happened late last night at an apartment complex off Titleist Court, right near John Young Parkway and Oak Ridge Road, around the corner from the mall at Millennia. News 6's Angie Casada is there live for us this morning. Are deputies saying anything else about what led to this deadly encounter, Angie?
Hey, Justin, good morning. What we know so far is that deputies say they were forced to shoot a woman in this apartment complex here behind me. Now, just a few hours ago, this was a very active scene. Several deputies, investigators, detectives going in and out of this apartment unit in the second floor. And what we know so far is that it started around 11 o'clock last night with a 911 call from someone claiming that they had been battered and strangled. Well, when deputies arrived here, they heard screaming inside. They breached the door and found the source of that noise. It was a woman armed with a knife, and according to investigators, she attacked the deputies, leaving them no choice but to fire. Now, that woman in her late 20s was hit, given medical aid immediately, but later died at the hospital. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement is now investigating the shooting, as they do with all deputy-involved incidents, and the two deputies who fired their weapons are on paid administrative leave. And we spoke with some neighbors this morning who say it's just a tragic event regardless. Of course, we're learning to see if there's any more pressing details about this, her identity, as well as what led to this confrontation. Of course, we'll keep you updated here on News 6. Reporting in Orange County, Angie Casada, back to you guys.
Thank you, Angie. Also breaking overnight, 2 people rushed to the hospital after a shooting at an apartment complex close to Disney. The sheriff's office says it found the victims late last night at the Flamingo Crossings West Apartments. It's right off of Western Way, not far from the 429. Deputies say the 2 men knew each other and they got into a fight. There was a shootout, and then both ended up injured. The victims, who are in their 20s, were taken to the hospital, but deputies did not have any updates on their conditions. As soon as we find out more, we will let you know.
A jury once again recommends death for two men convicted in Volusia County's deadliest mass murder. Troy Victorino and Jerron Hunter were convicted of killing these 6 people back in 2004 in a gruesome case now infamously known as the Xbox murders. The resentencing trial lasted nearly 2 weeks, with jury deliberations lasting over 7 hours yesterday. They were originally sentenced to death in 2006, but a new sentencing was needed due to changes in how many jurors must recommend the death penalty.
When you think about the sheer brutality of this crime and the number of individuals who were murdered and how they were murdered, it's a horrific scenario that cries out, it truly deserves nothing less than the death penalty for those involved.
Though the jury made its recommendation, the final say is up to the judge. A sentencing date has not officially been set.
Getting help to local veterans in need. Today, the Daytona Beach VA Clinic is marking 1 year since it opened its doors, but that celebration is coming with some uncertainty as veterans across the country brace for possible big cuts coming out of Washington. News 6's Mark Lehman has more on how local veterans are reacting.
Coming into today, the big question for veterans is what kind of impact will these budget cuts have on their clinic that they rely on for their medical needs? There are a lot of concerns as the VA is slashing their budget.
All the military people need something like this, and we need all the doctors that we can get in there.
As a Marine Corps veteran, Bill Lehman has come to depend on the Daytona Beach VA outpatient clinic. The facility is hosting a community outreach today, marking 1 year on Williamson Boulevard.
What has this clinic meant to the community?
I think it means quite a bit. It handles a lot more people, than the old one did.
It's a cause for celebration, but also comes at a time of uncertainty. The Department of Veterans Affairs is preparing for cuts to its workforce after a surge in hiring under the Biden administration.
We have been emphatic that we will not be cutting benefits and health care, only improving them, and I think the budget shows that.
VA Secretary Doug Collins speaking about the cuts on Tuesday. He says the goal is slashing the workforce by about 15%. It could reach as many as 83,000 positions.
If they make any cuts here, it's going to be pretty sad. It's going to back everything up.
Yeah, do you think the service could suffer?
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Lehman says he has concerns about what the changes in workforce will mean, hoping no one at his clinic will be affected.
All good people, all good workers, and they take care of us veterans, and that's the important thing.
In his remarks this week, Secretary Collins said cutting non-essential VA workers will allow his department to focus more money on direct care for veterans. As for today's celebration, the main thing that the VA wants to get out is the resources that are available for vets. We posted details about that under this story on clickorlando.com. In Daytona Beach, Mark Lehman, News 6.
As lawmakers continue work to hammer out a new budget, Governor DeSantis is warning he will veto a proposed cut to the sales tax. During a roundtable in Tampa yesterday, DeSantis said he wants to focus on lowering property taxes instead, arguing that will benefit Floridians while a sales tax cut will disproportionately benefit tourists.
We are not going to kneecap our ability to provide you property tax relief just so we can give a little bit of a benefit to Canadian tourists. That is not going to happen, so you can take that to the bank.
House Speaker Daniel Perez has been pushing to cut the state's sales tax by 0.75 percentage point. That would save consumers about $5 billion every year. Lawmakers are set to return to Tallahassee next week to try and come up with a final budget.
Flagler County is extending its burn ban through May 14th as dry conditions continue to fuel brush fire concerns. And even with the rain this week, officials say it's just not been enough to make any impact. The ban prohibits open burning, fire pits, fireworks, and unattended grills. Good news is we have more rain in the forecast, but that is coming with a severe threat. So here's Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos with more on the Weather Alert Day.
Yes, and at the end of the day, we certainly have seen beneficial rain in the last week or so far for the month of May, right? But if you notice, there's still areas like along our coastline, including Flagler County, still in that deficit just for this month. So again, it's going to take some time to get those burn bans lifted because it's It took us, 3 months to get into that burn ban. It's going to take a couple weeks of rain like this to actually start seeing some improving conditions with those burn bans. So fire danger is still in the moderate range. We have more moisture, so the fire danger isn't extremely high, but now we add lightning to the mix. So that will also cause now a new concern. Now with that lightning, right now we have nothing to talk about, but the timing of the rain and storms will start to increase as we head into the afternoon and into the early evening hours. So this is one of the cool models that we kind of look at when we look at the timing of the rain and storms. All of that blow up that you see there right along I-4 this afternoon that pushed out towards the east, that's all the possibility of lightning in the forecast. So it's going to be an active day today, a lot of lightning. We will have the threat for strong to severe storms in the forecast, but then it doesn't end just there. We're going to continue to see added moisture, possibly even more rain to the forecast as a new system that right now is far to our north will move into the northern Gulf. And that's going to surge in another round of almost tropical-like weather that is going to up the chances even further as we head into Monday and Tuesday. So we'll have a look at how long this wet weather will last coming up in just a little bit. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your News 6 traffic update.
All right, we do have a crash that just came out, southbound 417. This is going to be close towards Aloma. Listen, there is a backup, but it's a little further north, so you're not going to see this crash until you probably get clear out some of the construction zone that's in the Oviedo area, closer to Redbug Lake Road, but southbound 417, and then westbound here on Aloma approaching the 436 area. So two different crashes kind of close to each other, and then I-4, kind of a mess right here, but hey, traffic's moving out by Sand Lake. Yesterday, out on patrol, we were hanging out in some neighborhoods talking about the different type of enforcement that can be conducted by both or all three, state, county, and local law enforcement. Head over to clickorlando.com. Interesting topic. I like talking about stuff like that. Today, we're going to be talking some pedestrian safety. They've put in so much stuff over, I say stuff as if it's nothing, but infrastructure for pedestrians along OBT. Join me today. We'll go check it out and see how it's working out. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Steve. 742, Mickey and Minnie heading to the Middle East.
And the expansion isn't just about new rides. Coming up, where Disney is opening its next big resort and why this could be a game changer.
Plus, a trooper shortage could put your commute at risk, why dozens of positions are still empty, and what's being done to try and fix it next.
It's time for Ask Trooper Steve, where I get to answer some of the questions that you send in to me. And this one's always pretty good because we have such a high influx of visitors all the time, right? Can I swap my UK driver's license for a Florida driver's license? David from Heathrow out in the UK said that. So quick answer, not really, right? So Florida doesn't have just like a direct exchange. It's not like a one-for-one thing, but getting your license in Florida is pretty simple. So here's the quick breakdown for you. There's a lot of other stuff, but simple, right? So study, right? The handbook, which is available online. Take the written test. Pass a vision and hearing test, and maybe a road test, depending on your local DMV or tax collector's office. Bring proof of ID or social security and your address. So you'll have to bring that in proof of tangible. So the proof of address must be like written, like a bill or something like that. So make sure you're there. Pay a fee. And once you're done, you're basically ready to drive around Central Florida. So basically you got to be careful. Bonus, if you're visiting, you can drive here for up to a year without any problem. So just keep in mind, providing here in Florida, they've answered we're not a one-for-one, so you've got to go through a little bit of a process there to get it taken care of. If you've got a traffic safety question you want me to answer it, just head to clickorlando.com/AskTrooperSteve.
Thanks, Trooper Steve. The Florida Highway Patrol is dealing with a shortage of troopers. Now advocates want lawmakers to step up and put more money on the table. News 6's Stephanie Rodriguez has more on how all this works this morning.
The agency has been asking for higher wages for years, pointing to those openings and the exodus of troopers to other agencies, all things that can make your commute to work dangerous.
When people see troopers out on the highway, they're less likely to drive recklessly.
Much less likely. The motoring public notices the absence of troopers.
Paul Novak is a member of the Florida Highway Patrol Advisory Council. The FHP is short more than 100 troopers. Yet they're tasked with protecting Florida's 21 million residents, 140 million visitors, and 43 million miles of roads.
We have thousands of people dying on the roads every year, literally thousands. We have 8 or 9 people dying on the roads every day.
The hope is lawmakers will rethink some budget items.
This year alone, the state is spending about $15 billion on highway and road construction. And next year, it'll be another $15 billion. What it would take to fully fund the Florida Highway Patrol is a minuscule, tiny percentage of that number.
If not, he worries things will only get worse.
And if all of the troopers see this legislative session close and finish with no change in the status quo, there's a lot of people going to leave.
Novak suggested the legislature put $70 million into FHP to address staffing. Lawmakers still have to finish the budget, and they'll be back to work next week. Reporting from FHP headquarters in Orlando, Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
Leaders in Maldora are vowing to work with Lake County to figure out how to handle a stench that has been hanging over neighborhoods for years. People have long complained about the strong, unexplained smell, but just this week, a study was released pointing to the Mid-Florida Mount Dora landfill as the likely culprit.
We can't just go out on our own, but we want to work with Lake County to eliminate the smell.
Meanwhile, the landfill operators say they're reviewing the report and remain in compliance with all air quality rules.
Disney is making a magic move to the Middle East. The company has just unveiled plans to open a brand new theme park in Abu Dhabi. This will be Disney's 7th global resort and its first new theme park in over 15 years. It will have a theme park and an undetermined number of hotels.
Right here in the Middle East, we know that we've only scratched the surface in terms of catering to this population. We haven't been able to serve them in a proximate way, and we're going to be able to do that now.
The resort is expected to open its doors in the early 2030s.
All right. You got your annual pass, right?
I know. No, I have Universal.
She's a Universal gal.
I switched over.
Yeah.
Disney took some of my money. So.
Yeah, they do that a lot. All right, Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos. You know, a lot of people obviously in town, as they always are.
Yeah.
Trying to go to the theme parks today. Get there early. Get there at rope drop. When is rope drop?
It already happened.
Oh, it did?
If you're not there by now.
You haven't felt stress than going to a rope drop at Disney and having to power walk to another line.
You're not allowed to run, right?
No.
Yeah.
So literally you're like power walking just to get in line.
It took me like a solid 15 seconds to realize what you guys were talking about.
Rope drop?
Rope drop. I was like,
Dude,
rope
have you never rope dropped?
Never.
Never?
No.
Oh, it's an experience, Steve. You have to try it at least once.
Go with Crystal. That'll be fun.
No.
All right, let's talk about the weather forecast. And please
You can't
stream
keep up.
The weather's got to be real good.
Yeah, the weather does have to be really good. Yeah. And we have a rule in this house that the moment summer starts, there's no more theme parks and outdoor stuff. You play in the pool, And that's it. All right, let's talk about the weather forecast, or you find snow somewhere else in the world. Looking ahead into the forecast, speaking of summer, this is going to be the trend over the next couple of days. We're really starting to look at a pretty soggy, stormy setup as we head into the last few days of the week, and another big round by Sunday into Monday. We're kind of still ironing out those details, but for the most part, we are looking at another round of afternoon showers and thunderstorms both Saturday and, yes, Mother's Day. So the way the weather impacts you here, we have a weather alert day, more of a severe concern today and tomorrow. At least it is much needed rain. We can give the sprinklers and your wallets a little bit of a break in the next couple of days. And again, when it comes to Mother's Day, depending on what she wants to do Saturday and Sunday, make sure if she's not watching and keeping tabs on the weather, which you should, you might want to just let her know that maybe some indoor options might be good, right? Temperatures out the door right now, mid to low 70s area wide. I'm now thinking about what things I would want to do for Mother's Day. That includes indoor activities. 91 degrees is our temperature for this afternoon. We are going to continue to up those rain chances. After about 2-3 o'clock, we'll be up to about a 70% chance, but we do have those little hazard icons indicating that potential for strong to severe storms. So let's take it to the maps and show you our latest model run that just came in a few minutes ago. You can see some scattered showers continuing by about 2-3 o'clock, but where we see more of the severe weather is where the east and west coast sea breeze collides, and we know that's happening about this time because that's when those little pop-up showers turn into one big blob of rain and storms. And that's exactly what will be happening about 5-6 o'clock, lining up in and around areas up and down the I-4 corridor, and then shifting gradually between about 4 and 7 o'clock, clipping the coastline, kind of getting pinned there for a little bit. And as of now, some of our models are still even picking up some heavier downpours, even as late as about 10-11 o'clock. Meteorologist Julie Broughton will be pinpointing more of that. Unfortunately, I think she'll be pinpointing some strong severe storms in the forecast. You can see we're under a level 1 out of 5 for that threat today. So looking at the concern for rain and lightning, even some small hail can't be ruled out, as well as those gusty winds. We've already clocked some strong winds yesterday, could see even stronger wind gusts that could get, again, to that severe weather threshold, 40, 60 mile per hour wind gusts. And then even on Friday, it looks like the majority of central Florida will also be under that level 1 severe risk. Then we're turning our attention to this area of low pressure to our north. It's going to start moving a little further south into the northern Gulf by kind of Saturday and Sunday. It's going to be paired in with a cold front down at the surface, and that's going to start streaming in a lot more rain and storms in the forecast, especially come Monday, meaning between now and about Tuesday. We've already had a lot of rain. We could be tacking on another 5 to 7 inches in some locations. As we get results here with your full 7-day forecast, you can see a decent shot for rain from now at least until about Tuesday. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve.
We're a little slow downtown Orlando, but it's just routine. It's no crash. So as long as you're good, you'll be good to go in downtown. So please just make sure you're paying attention. 30 minutes Sanford to downtown Orlando on I-4, and only 28 if you're coming in from Celebration on I-4. 417 southbound Aloma, I'm calling clear this morning. And then 436 at Aloma, I'm also calling clear. The rest of us kind of routine. Champions Gate, we're a little slow, but it kind of slows down heavier out by 192. 44 minutes Champions Gate to downtown, which is not bad for this hour. This is usually a 50-minute drive time. And then as you clear the attractions, no problems. Guys, send it back to you.
Thanks, Trooper Steve. A deadly bear attack and now a big decision on how to handle Florida's growing bear population. The controversial vote happening in Ocala this month.
Well, new this morning, a controversial vote is coming to Ocala later this month. Florida wildlife officials are considering bringing bear hunting back for the first time in nearly a decade. Supporters say it's about managing a growing bear population, while critics call it unnecessary and inhumane. The proposal comes just days after an 88-year-old man and his dog were killed in Collier County. Investigators believe this was the first fatal black bear attack in state history. FWC is set to vote on the proposal May 21st and May 22nd. Candace.
Temperatures right now muggy in the 70s throughout the afternoon. We're going to continue to heat up into those low 90s. But as we look here at the clouds and rain forecast, you can see scattered showers will start up once again about 2-3 o'clock this afternoon, but becoming a little more severe potentially as we head into about 5-6 o'clock this evening. So making sure you're staying weather aware as the rain and storms could linger as late as about 9-10 o'clock this evening. We are under a level 1, meaning today is a weather alert day. Could have another round of that for your Friday, but still staying very soggy as a new system rolls in comes Sunday into Monday, bringing with it another round of much beneficial rain. Unfortunately, though, some of that rain does come with a chance for rain and some storms. Steve.
Travel right now doing pretty good in downtown Orlando. No major issues right there, east and westbound. We are up to speed, so no crashes. Just all our crashes this morning have already cleared. 417 in Loma, 436 in Loma. Just please, like Candace has said, this afternoon's going to look different. So make sure you're paying attention, pack your weather gear, and just plan ahead and drive safely this evening.
All right. Thank you, Steve. And thanks for spending your morning with us. Remember, we break news on clickorlando.com.
You can stick around right here on News 6 Plus for more news, weather, even some community events.
Have a great day.
Streaming on clickorlando.com and broadcasting live, you're watching News 6.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos. Beautiful start to the day if you want to enjoy the sun and sand for the next few hours. It's certainly feeling tropical out there. We're in those low 70s. We're going to continue to heat up to about 90 degrees today before we work in those rain and storms. Today's storm threat's a little higher than yesterday, so we are designating today a weather alert day to this. By about 5-6 o'clock, severe storms could be possible lining up along I-4, heading from west to east. You can see that big blow up of rain and storms along our coastline, even late into the evening, as late as about 10 o'clock tonight. Looking at another round of rain and storms again tomorrow. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve.
Thank you, ma'am. We are slow in downtown Orlando right now, east and westbound lanes. Just kind of stop and go. No crashes or anything in your drive times where they should be. 31 minutes, about 30 minutes average, both directions. Both crashes close to Loma have been cleared out, but southbound still seeing some delays there on 436. And then no delays on I-4. CBS Mornings continues next. Get updates, clickorlando.com. Thursday evening traffic alert. We're going to see those full closures depending on weather along 417 southbound out here north of 528, meaning everybody's coming off. So make sure you're careful there. And then westbound I-4 as well. You see all the cones out here because that's scheduled construction. All cars at I-4 at Kirkman are going to be required to get off. A lot of construction happening just west of there. Can't have cars traveling through there, so we need everyone kind of be safe. I'm Trooper Steve with your News 6 traffic alert. Drive carefully, and I'll catch you in the morning. It is Central Florida, so it's a pretty good question. Can I swap my UK driver's license for a Florida's license? Well, David from Heathrow, he's at Ask Heathrow in the UK. He's asking that question. So the quick answer is no. Florida doesn't have like a direct exchange, but getting your license here in the state of Florida is pretty simple. So real quick, here's the rundown. Study the driver handbook, right? You got to know what you're doing. Take the written test and pass a visual and hearing test. Maybe even have to take a road test depending on your DMV or local tax collector's office. Bring proof of ID, Social Security, and your Florida address. Now, pause there just for a second. Now, if you don't have a Social Security here in the state of Florida, you might not be a U.S. citizen, then you got to bring your paperwork that would exempt you for having that. You can head over to DHSMV's website, and they'll inform you what paperwork there. Then, of course, pay the